friend's wedding. But that had been nearly a year ago. If the woman had conceived a child, she'd have made her claim long before today. Besides, the woman was Italian, or French, the designer of the bride's wedding gown. It was unlikely she and the senator would cross paths. Reassured, he pretended aloofness by adjusting the cuff of his suit jacket as he waited for Marchione to continue. The senator pinched the bridge of his nose and sighed. "You're right. Congress shouldn't be wasting time and money investigating professional sports. That's for the leagues to police. But I'm in the minority, and this is politics. Connelly, you don't want to testify against your old coach, and I can impede the committee from forcing you to do so. For the time being, in return, I need you to do something for me." He eyed the men seated beside Will. "Something I think both of us would like to keep private." For the first time since entering the ornate conference room, Will spoke. "They stay." He wasn't sure what the senator was up to, but he wanted his agent and his boss as witnesses in case something went awry. "Suit yourself." Marchione pulled a file folder out from the portfolio in front of him. "Hold on." Roscoe pointed to a white-haired gentleman in a dark suit seated behind the senator. He was the only person to accompany Marchione to the meeting. "We'd like some assurances from your staff that whatever this is about, it'll remain private." "That's Mr. Clem," the senator said. "He represents the child." The room was silent for a moment while the men processed that statement. Will's temple throbbed harder as he realized another kid had been born a bastard, just like him. The senator's face was chagrined as he slid a photo across the table. Will's breath hitched as he caught sight of the alluring woman in the picture. Laughing, bright amber eyes dancing, she stood among several brides who towered over her curvy, petite frame. Apparently, the senator did know the bridal gown designer. Will silently contemplated the photo as his pulse ratcheted up several notches. "I take it you recognize my little sister." The senator's voice sounded almost apologetic. "She designs under her mother's maiden name, J. Valencia, but her real name is Julianne Marchione." He could feel the eyes of all the men in the room on him. Will was embarrassed to admit he and his mystery lover hadn't exchanged names. Hell, they'd barely spoken at all. His palms began to sweat as he pondered the ramifications of his one and only one-night stand. In the world of professional sports, men and women hooked up all the time, no strings attached. But not Will. He'd borne the shame of being the consequence of a one-night stand all his life. "Your sister didn't offer her name, Senator," he bit out. "In fact, she gave the impression she spoke little English." Marchione winced as he leaned back against his chair. "Julianne is multilingual, but since she's as American as I am, she's perfectly fluent in English," he sighed. "She has a bit of a flair for the dramatic sometimes." Will pushed back from the table and stalked to the picture window behind him, turning his back to the men in the room as he wrestled with his composure. The spring sunshine illuminated the Capitol against a bright blue sky, but he didn't notice the postcard picture in front of him. His brain was scrambling to make sense of the meeting. Does that flair for the dramatic include seducing a multi-million-dollar athlete to be her baby daddy? Roscoe earned his enormous salary with that one question. "My sister is a lot of things, but she is not promiscuous." Roscoe gave a snort. "Forgive me, Senator, but in this business, women aren't always what they seem, not even little sisters." Will leaned his forehead against the warm glass of the window while Roscoe and the senator argued behind him. He dared not join in because in his heart he wanted to believe the woman, Julianne, hadn't been a conniving seductress. Everything about that night lingered in his memory as a mystical, erotic fantasy, one he relived often in his thoughts, each time wondering if the encounter had been real or imagined. He didn't have to wonder any more. The wedding reception had been